I always saw exercise as punishment. I didn't enjoy it, I hated sweating, and well, I wasn't honestly good at sports. I wasn't helpless, but I wasn't skilled either. So there was never any real motivation other than, looking fit. I tried it all. Following fitness influencers, binging motivational videos, joining virtual workout groups, following 10-minute video routines, but those never sticked. Nothing made me actually happy, and I never ended up following that path. So, every time I tried to push myself into something new, the same thought would hit me. No, it's not worth it. As an avid overthinker, I also carried some concerns. Concerns being excuses, of course. I knew I wasn't a gym person. I'm not paying for that. I don't know how anything works in a gym. There are too many complex machines, so not for me. I was also super anxious about getting injured for doing something wrong for too long, and I didn't want to buy anything. No workout clothes, shoes, equipment, or anything. I wasn't reliable. I didn't stick to anything, so I didn't want to spend any money. Basically, I needed something fun, easy to start, and free. And that seemed impossible to find. But then, I found it.
Are you ready to do the workout? Yeah!
As I began getting more and more into a vintage lifestyle, I thought, what if I try a vintage workout as well? Vintage workouts have the reputation for not being hard enough. Like, if your plan is to be fit, it's not happening. But at that point, I was like, I just want to feel like I'm doing something. That's better than nothing. The first time I searched for vintage workout, I found a Richard Simmons video.
Royce, it's sweating time!
And it was fun, it wasn't hard at all, but I felt like I could do more. I wanted to really commit. So 2 days later, I switched to Jane Fonda's 1982 workout routine, and it's been 3 years doing the same workout over and over. I did it once and I enjoyed so much that I did it happily the day after, and after that second day, I was so excited that I took advantage of that rush and made a promise to myself to do it for the next 30 days, no excuses. Research says forming a habit can take anywhere from 18 to 154 days. That's why people often pick a 30-day challenge. It's long enough to test your commitment, but short enough to feel possible. I wanted to see if I could make it stick. I had to restart after day 3, but once I did, I pushed through no matter what. I would say the hardest stretch was between days 5 and 11. Before day 5, everything seemed so exciting. I was feeling so good for doing this for the first time. And then after day 6, it really started feeling like a job. I really had to push myself to exercise every single day. And by day 11, I started noticing that I was learning the routine. So I had not memorized yet, but I knew what was coming, so nothing seemed like a surprise, and that was also like a motivation for me. And then by day 16, I started feeling stronger and more confident, which also boosted my motivation. And by day 30, skipping the workout felt as strange as brushing my teeth. So it did become a habit for me. If you have the same struggle as me, this is the first thing I would suggest. Make it a challenge. Before I started this workout routine, I didn't know much about Jane Fonda. I knew she was a famous actress and a bit of a style icon from the 60s and 70s, but I didn't know that she was basically the face of home fitness. I mean, most people know Jane Fonda because of that. Of course, she wasn't the first to do it. In the early 1950s, there was Lalanne, who was teaching full body workouts on TV.
Thanks very, very much for letting me come into your home. You know, my name is Jack Lalanne, and I'm here for one reason and one reason only, to show you how to feel better and look better so you can live longer. Please keep your dial right where it is, because I want to become real good friends with you.
He inspired people to work out at home, and he did his show, The Jack LaLanne Show, for 34 years, which is absolutely insane. But Jane took that concept, and in 1982 she released her first workout video, which ended up becoming the best-selling VHS tape of all time. Her workouts were approachable, fun, and didn't need any fancy equipment, which made them perfect for anyone who didn't want to step into the gym. 40 years later, they still work. This video is available on YouTube. I'll leave the link in the description, and it features both routines, beginners and advanced. One is 34 minutes and the other one is 54 minutes. After doing the beginner's workout for 2 or 3 days, I decided to try out the advanced workout routine, and it was so much harder. Like, it really makes you feel like there's a missing piece of that video somewhere lost. But still, I set up my challenge so that I would do the beginner's workout routine one day, and then the next day I would do the advanced. When you have done the advanced routine for a couple of times, doing the beginner's one seems like nothing. I'm still working out this way up to today, and if I'm ever feeling like I don't want to spend an hour working out, or if I'm ever feeling like I just don't want to work out, I will do the beginner's video instead of the advanced one, because that way I'm not losing the day and I still get that feeling that I have dedicated at least 30 minutes a day to working out. Before I engaged with this routine, I had developed the need to start exercising multiple times over the years, but it was mostly for the wrong reasons. It was either because I was hyper-fixated on a specific part of my body, or because an influencer had just shared her fitness routine and I was instantly motivated. You know, my reasons were coming from, I want to look like her, I want to look better, thinner, I need to be the girl who exercises. And you know, as valid as those reasons are, they are actually short-term motivation. You know, if you do exercise, you will look better. That's guaranteed. So I actually had to find a routine that felt complete and that I genuinely liked, and also other honest reasons to start exercising. At first, I could only come up with 3 good reasons. The first one was that I wanted to be as healthy as possible as I grew up. My parents have never exercised and have never set the example, so I needed to be my own example, and that seemed incredibly hard. I also wanted to feel good wearing anything, because, you know. And the third one was that I wanted to improve my posture, because I spent most of my day sitting down and I have poor posture while sitting, so I wanted to exercise to make that a little better. During those 30 days, I would often note down something else that I thought was important as well, and here are some other things that I wrote on that list. As I started getting more flexibility, I wrote down, I want to become more flexible. I was already more flexible than when I had started, but it was something that I started actually seeing results on, so I noted it down because I wanted to remember how important that felt when I noticed it for the first time. As that same thing, I noted down I want to improve my physical resistance, because after day, I don't know, 10 or 11, I was really focusing on finishing the sets and forcing myself to do them better, higher, you know, those things. So if I wasn't complaining anymore, it was because I had already improved something else. So I noted that down. I also noted down that I wanted to incorporate the idea of discipline. I was already almost halfway of this challenge, and I wanted to feel like, you know, I don't want to be the person who just doesn't finish 30 days of doing something. I really want to, you know, go to the end of this. So I wrote that down, and the last thing was the most interesting one that I wrote on that list, and it was that by that time also, like maybe day 15, I had memorized so much of the routine that I started noticing that I would do the exercises automatically. And I found myself at some point thinking about anything else other than the exercise that I was doing. I wasn't complaining, it didn't seem hard anymore. I was just, doing that process, and I found myself thinking about some other things. And that day I wrote it down. I want to exercise because I want to have time to think. It really opened up my doors, so it was exciting, and it was nice to write that down, because anytime I felt like I didn't want to do this anymore, or I'm not feeling like doing it today, I would read that list, and if there was something that caught my attention, if there was something that motivated me that day specifically, then I would force myself, and yeah, I have to do it. It's hard sometimes, but you have to push yourself to be better every single day. If any of this resonated with you, that's great, but I do encourage you to write reasons of your own, not just before but during the process, because you won't know about the benefits until you're there doing it. People say the hardest part about going to the gym is going to the gym. So if you're ever struggling, just show up. When you're there, you'll just have to do it. Problem is, in our case, that we're doing it at home. We have nowhere to go to other than the living room maybe. So in our case, put the workout clothes on, put the video on, start with tiny steps, but build your way to it. I always used to say, I don't think I can exercise without having someone yelling at me. I genuinely thought that the only way I could push through discomfort or complete a set of a really hard exercise was to have someone yelling at me, even making fun of me. I didn't think I could be strict with myself. I was underestimating myself. Turns out I'm perfectly capable of becoming my own trainer. I really had to push myself to do the 30 days, but when I did that, I was all done. While I was exercising, I was concentrating so hard on doing the exercise better than last time, and trying to, check my body and check if I was doing it right. So I did definitely become my trainer, and I was trying to be really hard on myself as well, without the whole yelling and making fun, and even feeling proud about being my own pusher. The good part though is that you're not alone. Jane is great at pushing you. She gives every command at perfect timing. You can tell she had years of experience teaching in her studio in Beverly Hills, because she knows the common mistakes, she guides the exercises, she counts with you. You really end up feeling like you're part of a class.
6, come on, if I can do it, you can do it. 7, 8.
If you've made it through the 30 days, you feel like you have acquired the habit, and something has changed in you, then maybe take a break. When I first started my 30-day challenge, I thought, if I don't feel like doing this by day 31st, then I won't do it. And then I reached that, and I thought, you know what? I have finals coming in 2 weeks, and by then I won't definitely have time to do this. So I'll just stop on day 46 of this process. And I did for a month, and then got back to it. Read again all the reasons you wrote, and test yourself, test your body, test your memory, check again with yourself to see if it's still exciting. Be honest with yourself, but most importantly, trust that you can do this. As I said before, my main focus most of my life was to be thinner, fitter, to look wonderful in a bikini. And yes, even though I wrote 7 other reasons, that was mostly my main concern. I know it seems wrong these days to say that you're exercising for anything other than your physical or mental health, but truth is, vanity plays a huge part in exercise. Don't feel guilty for that. Embrace whatever goal you have. It doesn't matter if it's pain. Just remember, the real win is not the physical changes. It's changing your narrative, choosing to challenge yourself, knowing that you did it. If you show up, you'll get to your vainest objectives. But by the time you get there, the physical changes will feel like a bonus instead of the only goal. I don't think it's healthy to share actual mathematical results from my experience, but I did take notes of my process, including numbers. So as I know some people want to know that, I will share some data. Just a disclaimer, remember we all have different bodies, different times, different circumstances, and so on. Did it work? Yes, for sure. This is what I noticed. I got thinner, I lost fat, I built muscle and strength, I got way more flexible, and I felt amazing. Is it enough to only do this routine? Yes, I would say this routine once a day is enough, but I do think it works faster and better if you also take a 30-minute walk every day. What exactly did I notice? First of all, I started sleeping better. It's not like I was sleeping bad before, but you know, I would wake up a little more, and sometimes I would also press my teeth real hard if I was stressed. And I noticed that when I wasn't exercising during those stressful days, I would wake up from doing that. So yeah, I would say I'm doing a lot better now that I have acquired this habit. I also naturally accumulate some fat in my jaw, and I got my jaw a little bit more snatched. This, by the way, is something that you can only achieve if you do a full body workout. You cannot lose fat in specific areas no matter how many focused exercises you do. Believe me, been there, done that. I have tried face yoga and like creams and things for whenever I'm feeling a little like puffier on my face, but this is the only thing that I have found that has actually made a difference. One thing that was super interesting and that I didn't notice before was that I had some fat over my knee that disappeared. I actually found out while I was doing the workout routine. I was like in this like triangle position, and I saw my legs and I thought like, oh wow, they're so toned now. I don't have that thingy over my knee, but it really wasn't a problem before. I just noticed it after like the first 30 days, and I was like super happy about that. That was not something that I was expecting. I used to struggle when putting on knee-high boots. There are two types of people in the world, and I'm in the group that has thick calves, and I don't struggle with my calves anymore, so that's great news. That being said, I don't know how much I was weighing back when I started. I don't even know how much I'm weighing now, but I did measure myself in different parts of my body using a measuring tape. In the course of maybe 3 months or something like that, in the places where I accumulated more fat, I had reduced from 1 to 4 centimeters, and it doesn't seem like much, but I didn't need that much, and it felt noticeable for me in like other aspects. Like I would probably take a picture and I saw, the jaw was snatched, or my legs looked toned. So yeah, different things that made me understand that, but in terms of numbers, I did lose a couple of centimeters, and yeah, that was great as well. Can I say this was a success? Yes, I've been doing this for the past 3 years, taking a break here and there, but always returning. Is it ever boring? Not at all. I still struggle a little bit with some sets, so it's still exciting for me to challenge myself and to really push harder into it. I also love the music, and I know what Jane is going to say. Like, I have memorized the entire hour and a half by now, so it's still exciting for me, and I love that. I think that's amazing. So would I recommend it? Yes. I didn't want this video to sound like clickbait, but I can honestly say that this vintage workout routine changed my life. I am beyond thankful to Jane Fonda for creating this iconic concept that it's still as powerful today as it was back in 1982 when it was first released. And honestly, go through the comments of this workout routine video and you'll see so many people that have done this same workout since the 80s and they still enjoy it. They still say that it's the best thing they have ever tried out, and they have such nice clothes and so aesthetically pleasing. So yes, I would definitely recommend it. And the biggest change, it wasn't my body, it was my relationship with movement. I stopped thinking of exercise as punishment. I started seeing it as something I actually look forward to. I'm not an expert, I'm not an athlete, I'm not a personal trainer, but every time someone around me has complained about not being physically active, I always recommend Jane Fonda. You don't need equipment, you don't need clothes, you don't need anything, you can do it at home. So there's no excuse to not start.
She has an exercise routine for everyone, every age, every objective, every stage in the working out process you're going through. Most videos are available on YouTube and donate the watch time revenue for various good causes. So, you know, it's worth a try and maybe you'll find something that works for you.
So now, ask yourself, are you ready to do the workout?
That was everything for today. I hope it's helpful and I hope you start your journey soon. This video started a little differently, but I wanted to catch your attention and see if you want to start working out, same as I did a couple of years back. Thank you so much for being here and for watching, and yeah, that's it. See you on the next one. Bye!
But they sure got some cuties incorrect.